I don't know if it did it. All right, we're live. Let's get out to Instagram as well. Oh, shit.
Hello, Instagram.
Instagram's not happening. There she is. All right, well, it's 2026 mock draft season. The draft is taking place in a mere 2 days and 2 hours. And
Oh boy.
we're here tonight with an interesting thought experiment I had. Glad to have the NFL panel back for a joint first-round mock draft where we will each be taking control of about probably 8 to 10 teams each, and we'll be alternating. Trades will be allowed, with Michael trying to angle for some trades already, but we'll see what happens. Before we get into all the draft, though, how have you guys been? Michael, we saw you a mere last week for the NBA stream, but Cam, it's been about 2.5 months. How's, post Super Bowl depression treating you? There's no off the field topics we need to bring up at all tonight. So,
Nope. Yeah. I mean, it was a tough, maybe 24 hours I would have gave it, but, more realistic after the Super Bowl loss. A lot earlier than we expected, and very happy with what happened. The Vrabel situation obviously occurred. I wasn't sure if you want to get into that. Honestly, I don't have too many opinions on it, but I know it's a pretty hot topic. Mainly just getting ready for, it's Boston sports season. You got both the Celtics and the Bruins in the playoffs right now. Obviously going to try and keep this pod a little shorter compared to what we're used to, seeing how they both play at 7 or 7:30. But yeah, other than that, doing good. Nice to see you fellas again.
Are you dual screening for this Boston?
Yes, I will be on YouTube TV splitting screens.
Oh, interesting.
wait, we should be done by then. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, Bruins and Celtics, I mean, brother. Because they both play tonight, yeah.
I'm not allowed to put on hockey in my house, so.
Tough. I'm more of the hockey fan than the Celtics fan, but obviously the Celtics are much better, so it's tough to watch. But hey, we're here to talk about 2026 mock. So
yeah. All right,
I've been preparing. I'm ready to go.
Let's break it down for the people. So I have the list of teams. If anyone's interested, we can just do this real fast. So
No, I'm not interested.
Okay. I have banners for us to guide us as well, with every team sort of alternating by 3. Of course, we gave Michael his Jets, and I kindly traded Cam the Pats for the number 1 overall pick. Those are the 2 big draws, even though the number 1 pick's like the only obvious pick on the board. But I get to be in control of the Raiders tonight. And so let's dive right in. I think this draft really starts at 2, but ceremoniously, with the first overall pick in the NFL draft, I am on the board with a draft pick that has been in the making. Apparently, he's already doing work with the team and with Brian Greasy. I heard on a podcast. I won't wait any longer. It's going to be Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. And how we can do this is when I get my pick, the 2 people who aren't up next, so Michael, you're up next. You can kind of go through your pick, but me and Cam can talk through maybe Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, as it gets later on, we'll have a little bit less intel. But Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders, I think it's potentially might be really good. I don't know if he's going to have to start. I actually was thinking about the Raiders team. If they have Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers, they're going to be kind of lethal, where I think Ashton Jeanty takes a step up. Maybe the defense gets a little bit better with their new head coach. What are your thoughts on Fernando Mendoza? Cam, you think he's going to be anything in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, definitely an impressive, I don't know if it was his junior or senior year at Indiana, but obviously undefeated season, NCAA champ. Honestly, it was tough to see any flaws with him, especially in the college football playoff. Seems like he definitely has the right head on his shoulders, makes the right decisions. I do, like the repertoire between Jeanty and Bowers, but that wide receiver core does make me a little nervous. But I also like the fact that they brought in Kirk Cousins, whether it be to mentor as more of a backup, and if Mendoza starts week 1, or you give Kirk the week 1 nod, which I think is most likely going to happen, and you let Mendoza learn under him for a little bit prior to taking over. Feel like it's kind of obvious, but yeah, I mean, I like Fernando to Las Vegas.
Second round, they have an early pick, so maybe they address the wide receiver need there.
Yep.
A Raider fan I'm very familiar with is happy about Jack Bech and a potential year 2 jump, so we'll have to see what happens with
How does
Mendoza.
How does he feel about Mendoza?
I think he feels pretty good. I think he, I don't know if he convinced
Be
himself.
lukewarm. I feel like he's lukewarm.
No, he's happy. He's happy about it. I don't know if he had to convince himself to get happy, but he's definitely excited about Fernando Mendoza. And, it was kind of obvious it was telepath. So a lot of people are out there saying, Michael, the draft starts at 2 with your team, the New York Jets. And there's been a lot to do with a certain prospect this week. Very curious to hear your thoughts on who the New York Jets will be taking. You may have the most intel in the situation. So you're up at 2. Who do we got?
Yeah, this being a predictive mock and all. If we talked about this like 5 days ago, I would say there's like a 50-50 chance Arvell Reese and David Bailey here. Being predictive now, I don't think there's probably 90-10 leaning towards Arvell Reese. And that's the way that I would rather go. A lot of people around the team seem to feel that he's the best all-around football player, other than Jeremiah Love at this spot. And David Bailey is more of a pass rusher specialist, which we already have on the team in Will McDonald, which those two guys wouldn't be able to play on this field at the same time. But Arvell Reese, I think, is the pick here. I think they'll play him as a off-ball linebacker for a second down, move him onto the edge, third down. He'll be able to take Jamien Sherwood's spot next to Demario Davis, and will play a lot of snaps. And I think this Jets defense can be decent, mid in the league. And going from 32nd in the league to 16 or 15 or something like that would be a great jump for them. So I think Arvell Reese he was, until like 2 weeks ago, the definite pick. And then there was some murmurings about David Bailey, but I feel like that's just smoke to see if there's any trade stuff going on in the league for people trying to move up. But
Talk to me about
Arvell
the
Reese
canceled workout.
I don't really care about it. Like their GM talked about it today, basically saying they did all their intel on him already. Like, they've done the work. They've talked to him before at the combine and stuff, or pro days. So they didn't really feel like they needed it. And yeah, I feel like David Bailey might be a good football player, but he's going to be a pass rusher. And Arvell Reese, even if he doesn't become the great pass rusher, he's going to be an insane off-ball linebacker. And I'd rather have an insane off-ball linebacker than another pass rush only guy.
All right. Well, Arvell Reese off the board at 2. Before we get to Cam, we are always joined by the chat. Instagram's got the first comment tonight. It's from a friend of the pod, AntNK23. He says, "Boys, tell me something good about my Giants." Michael, do you have something to tease? Maybe Michael will be up again at 5.
2 picks in the top 10, Mike. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll be looking for trades out of that 5th spot, maybe.
More trades for the Giants? That's not what they want to hear.
Yes, it is. They need a lot of guys at a lot of positions.
All right. We'll have to see if anything comes to fruition. But before we do that, Cam, it's your turn for the Arizona Cardinals, picking number 3 overall.
Yeah.
One of your favorite teams.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. NFC West, if you watch the pod during the regular season, you'll know that the Arizona Cardinals are a close second or third behind the Titans on teams I absolutely hate. This, I feel like, it's a weird spot because it definitely seems like a spot where they could trade down. But I'm just going to not fuck around with the trades. I know Mikey's interested in that. But if they were to stay at 3, I think the chalk pick would be to go with Bailey. But I think it could be interesting. I could see maybe like a game changer like Sony Styles, and maybe if they're really aggressive, go after a guy like Caleb. But seeing how it's a mock draft, I'm going to try and keep it somewhat realistic. I think they're going to go with David Bailey out of Texas Tech at the 3rd overall spot.
All right. Michael, as a Jets fan, do Do you think there's a potential of David Bailey being a superstar and Arvell Reese being
A
a guy
bust.
that's forgotten about?
That would be unfortunate, but no, I don't.
Okay. Are you out on David Bailey?
No, I'm not like, I think in like a normal draft where there's a lot of good first round picks and like blue chip players, and he's probably like a 12 to 15 overall pick. Arvell Reese probably like a 7 or 8 overall pick. So it's like there's not really that much different. It's just what the Jets need versus what they don't.
All right. We got more comments in the Instagram chat. Connor.Chester says NY football in all capital Giants. He also says, fuck the Pats, fuck the Red Sox. Connolly early is a bozo idiot ahead of the big Red Sox-Yankees game tonight. We got a lot of sports on tonight. Boston in 2 different playoffs and playing against the Yankees. Tough start to the baseball season, but definitely, some animosity in some Boston, New York streets out there. But we're here for the mock draft, okay? And I'm up at number 4 with the Tennessee
I was gonna say
Titans.
you don't want to get me started on all that shit, so you might want to keep it moving.
Yeah, we'll keep it moving. We have we got to keep this tight. So I'm sitting here as the Tennessee Titans, and I'm thinking I've got Cam Ward. I have some decent wide receivers. I did the first ever mock I laid my eyes on it was them taking Carnell Tate. I don't think they do that. I think the pick here is kind of an embarrassment of riches. You can go wherever you want, tackle Sonny Styles, but ultimately, let's get this game-changing running back for Cam Ward to hand the ball off to. I'm going to go with Jeremiah Love to the Tennessee Titans, and he doesn't need to be like a workhorse running back. You got Tony Pollard in the building, so I think this is the pick for the Tennessee Titans. A lot of talk for people saying he's the most talented guy in the class. I think the number 4 pick is where the draft really starts, in my opinion, where the 2 and 3 is going to be Bailey and Reese in just whatever order they go. And then now the 4 is like the Titans really decide what the direction happens. But I think we go with Jeremiah Love to help out Cam Ward. So there we go. Thoughts on that one, Cam, while Mikey prepares for the Giants?
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. You see a lot of mocks kind of drafting this up. Also makes sense. You want to get, your second-year quarterback a little help in the backfield. Obviously 4 for a running back's extremely high, but he's had the comparisons to, Bijan in that aspect. And he's also been one of the most explosive players in college football for at least the past 2 years. Kind of tough not to pick him, in the first half of the first round. 4, I think, might be high. But also, as the Tennessee Titans, they love to make stupid mistakes.
I was going to say they'd be the team that would do it. So.
Exactly, yeah. So if they're going to pick a running back in the top 5, it doesn't surprise me at all. So kind of like your mock draft there, I can easily see that happening, on Thursday night.
All right, we have another comment. Schlittler is a better can. Okay. Little baseball NFL comparison. Michael, are you prepared to?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about this Titans pick. I think this is the way they'll go. I think the better pick for them would be Sonny Styles. Robert Saleh's defense is like predicated on the safety turn.
Is that me?
Hello?
We good?
It's Michael, dude. Stop unmute.
What is this guy doing?
He's buzzing. Holy. Well, he has the next pick, so I guess
You just get a fucking Amber Alert? Jesus Christ.
He just broke the streak. All right. I don't know what to do in this case where Michael's picking for the New York Giants.
Hello?
And Instagram.
Hello?
We got you.
Before you're ahead of this pick, the Instagram, Connor Chester's calling for a trade down to the Saints or the Chiefs at 9 here. So they want to potentially move down and have 8 and 10 or 9 and 10.
Yeah, I'm sure you would like that, Chester. Look at the propose a trade. Let's see it. What do we
Tony
got?
says production needs some help. Yeah, I don't know. I think Mikey just got like the world ending alert on his phone.
I was scammed. Yeah, I think I was spammed.
I think I got spammed.
Can we propose a trade?
I mean, to who?
To yourself? Are you going to propose a trade to the Saints?
I'm the Commanders. I'm not trading in division. We're happy to get whoever comes out here. So,
if you want to trade with the Chiefs, I could maybe listen, but Are you gonna do this
I feel like-
bullshit like future round picks and shit?
No. I don't think any of these teams actually would trade. for
I
this
don't think
spot.
so either. That's why-
Based on Love being gone and Bailey being gone, I don't think any of these teams are trading up for Styles or like a Maui Noah. I feel like we just gotta stick and pick for Sonny.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so
think that's
Sonny
what we're gonna
Styles is
do.
the pick for the New York Giants. I was told by a Giants fan, friend of the pod, Greg, that the Giants do not want Sonny Styles, but it is smokescreen season, and you get the best player available at this point. But Instagram saying Downs and Tyson, Saints or Chiefs will want.
Well, they have the 10th pick still.
Yeah, I
so-
think Ruben Bain's going to fall, so I'm not sure this would be a spot to trade up for Ruben Bain for the Saints or Chiefs. But
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I think he'll be a top 10 pick, but I think it's gonna be the later half here.
let's name a Giants. Let's do a pop quiz right now. Name a Giants linebacker right now.
McFadden
Okay.
and
Who the fuck
Bobby
is that?
Okereke. I think
I like
Okereke-
this.
Is
I like,
Okereke there?
I like the pick you made for the Giants. I think you get the most talented player, and they're
Yeah.
one of their needs on defense, and you can
I
address
mean-
something else at 10 if you want to.
If you want to go like I feel like the only thing you'd do here, if not the linebacker, is Downs, and I guess
It's a
you
little
could
early.
you could see one of these next 4 teams taking him, but I think he's going to be there at 10. So
Downs, yeah, the parachute is
Yeah.
currently 10. So, all right, we have one fan happy with you. Tony says, "Well done, Mikey," on the pick with Sonny Styles, the Giants. So we'll keep it moving. Cam is now up with the Cleveland Browns at 6. What are you thinking here for them?
Yeah, a lot of needs here. Honestly, they can go in several different directions. It's tough because it's like what I would want them to pick, but also it's what I think the Browns might do. And so I would prefer if they picked a tackle, and they go with the guy out of Miami. What's his? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Maui Noah.
Maui Noah. That's what I would want them to do. But knowing them, I feel like they're not going to do that. And they're going to want to get a receiver off the board in that top 10 to potentially change their offensive production. And the decision becomes who's it going to be between typically those top 3 guys. And I don't know. I'm leaning towards Carnell Tate right now, just off the top of my head. So we're going to write that name down. Back-to-back Ohio State guys, Carnell Tate going to the Cleveland Browns.
All
There
right.
you
Well, I hate that pick for my next pick because all my picks says if I'm a Commanders fan, I'm pissed off because we have tackle. We don't need a tackle.
Yeah.
And now we're left.
I think if
with-
you're a Commies fan, you're happy about it. I feel like I've heard things about them liking Tyson as their number 1 receiver in this class.
really,
Yeah, a
Well,
lot of people are debating between the Tyson, Lemon, and Tate, like trifecta. And then I feel like there's a little bit of a gap between the next set of wide receivers, but
Yep.
I don't know. I'm trying to be more realistic and thinking about what the Browns are going to do. And that seems like a Browns fuck up that they're most likely going to make.
Ali says Carno would love to stay in Ohio. You didn't hear that from me though.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm in a tough spot with the Commanders. Do I take a massive reach on a wide receiver?
You mean the Redskins?
No.
I think he does. I think he
Yeah.
does.
Okay.
Or do I take Caleb Downs to bring some sort of defensive integrity back to the squad? I think this is too high for Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a run, but mid-round. So I'm just going to go best available in most people's book, Caleb Downs. And we're going to make this an Ohio State party, 3 players.
Wow.
But, I mean, if I'm the Commanders, I'm hoping Tate or Sonny Styles falls here. And if not,
Yeah.
I'll just take Caleb Downs, the best player, because a wide receiver I can get in round 2. There's like waves of wide receivers. So I can trade back into the end of the first round and get this Tyson guy if I think he's there. And then, Sonny at 5, we would take him, but he's already off the board. So I don't know. We're going with Caleb Downs. It's the Commanders, and, they've had some historic safeties. Maybe bring one of those back. And I couldn't think of anybody who's played safety for the Commanders in the past couple of years. So we get him on the squad. All right, Michael. The New Orleans Saints are up now on the clock.
Yes, they are. This is an interesting spot. I feel like they're not in as bad of a spot as we would have thought last year. So I feel like they're picking they're picking at a place of strength here, and I know from some of the people that I listen to, they're very thin at safety. So we were kind of hoping for Downs falling there, and just like DBs in general. So I think we're gonna go with Mansour Delane here.
I love that
Wow.
pick.
From
LSU to
LSU.
New Orleans. Yep. All right, Mansour Delane off the board. I don't know much about this guy, to be honest, but I think this is a pretty easy one of just him being from the area. They need corners. I know they got rid of Lattimore a couple years ago. I think that's a solid pick for the Saints. I don't think they'd be too upset with
Yeah,
that.
it was him or Bain. I feel like they're with like they lost. Or I don't know if Cam Jordan's still a free agent. I'm pretty sure they don't really have much on the edge. I just feel like they're very thin on. They lost another corner this year. They just constantly lose corners and make it up in the draft. So I feel like it's a good spot there.
All right. The comments from the chat. Alex says 4 Buckeyes in the top 7. Ryan Day is a fucking terrorist. I mean,
What?
I don't know. Connor Chester says Landon Collins erasure. He was not good on the Commanders, I don't think. But yeah, he's not really someone I'm thinking of when I think of Commander safeties. Anyways, number 9, a team that we all love to hate, the dynastic Kansas City Chiefs. And this is a mock draft where I hate how they now have the choice between the top tackle in the draft or the top potential player with some maybe questions off the field. But Cam, where do you think the Kansas City Chiefs go here at number 9?
It's interesting. You mentioned tackle. I was thinking about that, but I'm also kind of thinking about how the Chiefs typically like to draft. Usually, obviously, they're picking the back end of the draft, but they also do have a back end pick at 29, and they have a chance to go get a number 1 target, especially with Kelsey, on the outskirts, maybe another year or two. That wide receiver core has not looked great for the past 2 years. It's tempting to maybe go with a positional skill player, whether it be, Tyson Lemon or even Sadiq. I think Sadiq would be a little too early at 9. Tackle, obviously, you still have, some of the best tackles available. Or actually, I think you have all of them, right? No one's been picked yet for
Tackles off the
tackle.
board, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think the Chiefs like their offensive weapons, at least in recent history, but maybe seeing how it's gone the past couple of years, they want to switch it up and go tackle. Kind of in a tough predicament. I think they go weapon. I think they're going to try and they haven't really been at the top of the draft before to get a game-changing playmaker. And if they see Tyson as that number 1 receiver, even though he's the second receiver to be drafted, I think they go with him at 9. So let's go with Tyson at number 9 to the Chiefs.
All right, number 19 on PFF, I believe, is the one I chose. So there you go, Jordan Tyson to the Kansas City Chiefs if they found the next Tyreek Hill.
He definitely is. I mean, obviously, it's
Also,
highlight
there's
tapes,
a lot
but
of people out there. I would say in rebuttal to your pick, I think there's a lot of people out there who think Tyreek Hill will be a Kansas City Chief by like week 8 of the season.
It's fair, yeah. I'm just curious to see them because they haven't drafted in the top half of the draft in probably since they drafted Mahomes, if you want to guess. So I'm curious to see what they want to do with that top end pick. And it would make logical sense to go tackle if you were the Chiefs, but at the same time, they definitely love to go with a playmaker in the first round, and especially at the number 9 pick, if they think he's the number 1 receiver, I could see them going Tyson.
All right. Well, Michael, you're back up with the New York Giants. Connor Chester in Instagram chat saying Bain is not falling to 10, but I'll take it and assume it pick of Ruben Bain. Will you be following suit, or is there somebody else you've got your eyes on for the Giants at 10?
Yeah, I think there's 4 options here. Depending on what you like, what they feel like they need. I'm not the most versed in the Giants depth chart. Bain's an option. I think Thieneman's also an option. Based on Harbaugh connection to the Ravens, obviously they're high on receiver, or they're very high on safeties there. They're also very high on the athletic tight end type, like Isaiah Likely. So I think Sadiq is a less likely option, but still maybe an option there. And then Giants always need offensive linemen, so that Maui Noah here could be an option as well. I guess Bane being here is kind of a break for them, so I think I'll just I don't know. They said they're not trading Kayvon Thibodeau, so maybe they're not projecting Bane will be here. Maybe if this happens, they'll try and do a trade for something for Thibodeau. I don't know. Yeah, give me Maui Noah.
Oh,
Okay, complete misdirect there, but okay.
tackle, not one of the top needs for the Giants, but they get the best
They-
tackle in the draft, who probably
Yeah.
has fallen at this point to number 10.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he might play guard, which is fine. Get him on the field.
Move
Get your best
inside.
five. Get your best five on the field. They re-signed Evan Neal, so you could kick him out any day of the week, and I think Giants fans would love it. So
All right, we'll
Yeah.
have to see if there's a reaction from the chat, but the Giants get a new tackle and Sonny Styles. So, not the most flashy picks, but definitely some players who can make a bit major impact. And now we go to Miami, where hold on, let me get rid of this prend. I'm thrilled as a Miami Dolphins fan.
Yeah, definitely
Where-
a lot of options.
We need everything, as the Miami Dolphins would say. We got the second best tackle, the best safety. We got a tight end we can take, wide receivers. Ultimately, though, if Ruben Bain makes it to the Miami Dolphins, we're not the most classy organization. I don't care about his past history. Give us the best player. We're taking Ruben Bain to the Miami Dolphins, bring him home right back from where he played college, and we got a defensive stud to lead us into the new age of the Miami Dolphins rebuild with Malik Willis. He's on his own. We don't care about him. We're trading away Waddle. Ruben Bain, welcome to the team. Edge, Miami. Also, we got rid of Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb replacement right there, Ruben Bain. If he's falling into our laps like this, there's nothing we even need to do. So Miami, we're taking Ruben Bain. Any thoughts on that one, Cam, on Mikey Parrish for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, obviously there have been a couple not questionable picks, but I feel like you could see a couple of these picks happen. I know mine with Tyson to the Chiefs is a little questionable. Delane to the Saints, maybe, and even Cornell Tate to the Browns. But those are three guys, and potentially those teams might not select Bain. And if Bain falls to 11 to the Dolphins, it seems like a very reasonable pick. Like, I think that would be their number one target if he fell to 11. And obviously a great fit, seeing how he'd be playing at the same stadium he just played in college. Makes a lot of sense, but it is also possible where we're just completely wrong because it's the draft and
This will be
could go fucking top
right.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the way I think of it from Miami's perspective is like all the players who have got picked before is like the whole tier one outside of like maybe Tyson, but like the top like 9-10 players were the best players in the draft. So
Yeah.
let's just take the most talented guy because we need fucking everything. We're gonna be one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, just draft the most talented guy that's available. And I think you did that with Bain. And it's going to be interesting to see how it would shake out if he wasn't there. But like you said, I think they probably just pick best available.
They get Maui
on
Oga,
Thursday.
or they get Tyson. They get somebody. All right, Michael. Dallas Cowboys, one of 2 picks tonight. The board is kind of reset here, in my opinion. So, what do you think the Cowboys look for in this spot?
yeah, I think they're going DB. Jermod McCoy's an option here. Jerry said earlier in the offseason that they're not going to draft injured players. And McCoy did not participate in the combine because of an injury, but I'm pretty sure he participated in the pro day. So that could be an option if you believe Jerry or if you don't. Thieneman's also an option here. I think it's between those two guys. I don't think they go like a Sadiq or an offensive weapon. CJ Allen, it feels too high for him. I think we're going to go Thieneman, who's been rising up a lot of draft boards. I feel like earlier in the offseason, you were seeing him like late 20s. But all the way up here at 12, I don't hate it. The Cowboys need all the back end help they can get on their defense. So
This might be a trade out spot for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Definitely could be. I
Go
mean,
down a
like,
couple spots, but
yeah, you'd have
We're
to
sticking
find
and
someone
picking.
willing to move up for one of the offensive linemen.
which is possible.
So we
all right.
walking in Thieneman?
Thieneman has been
Thieneman's
selected
locked.
to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys have definitely been one of those teams known to fuck around in the draft and do whatever they want. So it's definitely possible.
I don't know when the last time they drafted a safety, but it's definitely possible. I think it's him or McCoy. It's like 50-50 for me. So
Matt Murphy 4000's in the chat with us on Instagram. He says, in regards to the Giants pick, I see the vision. Team needs a major overhaul from the top down.
yeah,
I think that was
Yeah.
but maybe speaking of an opposite team, the Rams were in the NFC Championship game last year, Cam.
this is beautiful for them.
Whose pick is this from the Rams?
I do
Falcons,
not
right?
know
I
off
think
the
it's
top
the
of my
Falcons
head.
pick.
Yeah.
So here they are, the Rams at number 13. They've got some options they can pursue. Do you grab a Mekhi Lemon? Do you grab a corner? Do you grab a tackle? Where do you see the Rams going, Cam?
Yeah, I think I was debating more between wide receiver and tackle. I don't know about Mekhi Lemon. I don't know how they feel about him. I know he has, these flashy plays, but potentially you could have, arguably the best tackle in the draft, or, if you want to call him the second tackle in the draft. I feel like there's a huge drop off after Fano and whatever the fucking guy's name from Miami is. I could see this. Yeah. I mean, I think they probably go offensive line here and grab one of the best tackles in the draft, seeing how they have a pick later on in this draft, I believe.
They do, I think.
Yeah, I thought so. I'll have to find it.
They don't.
They do not know, so they're only picking at 13. Interesting.
Oh, they traded to the Chiefs for McDuffie.
That was right. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So you still have Devontae and Puka. I know Devontae's aging, but if you want that,
Puka's in rehab.
Puka will be fucking there week 1. But if you want that third explosive guy in Lemon, you could. But at the same time, missing out on a top tier offensive tackle at 13th overall, I feel like a lot of these guys don't fall. I don't even think he'll fall this late in the actual draft. So I think they're going to go with Spencer Fano out of Utah, solidify one of their tackle spots and make their offensive line a little bit better to give that aging Matt Stafford a little bit more time while they try and develop their offense from there. But we're going to go with Spencer Fano out of Utah.
Damn, bro. That was my lock of the century with Spencer Fano to the Ravens.
Really?
Yeah. But it's all right. We'll move on. But I don't know anything about Spencer Fano. Michael, any draft odds on Spencer Fano?
I'm pretty sure he's
a big boy.
One of those big offensive linemen tackles from college that probably will play guard in the NFL, at least early on. But definitely if he's definitely the number 1 guard, and he's probably the number 2 tackle. So I don't mind that pick at all.
All right. Well, now I'm the Ravens, and we're a little bit upset about how things gone because maybe we wanted one of the tackles in Malioga and Fano right now, and they're both gone right in front of us. Thieneman would have been a decent, pick just to say whatever. But now it's time for Lamar, a culture change. We need to get him some weapons, and a team already reached on Jordan Tyson. So we're going to end this little first wave of wide receivers. We're going to grab Mekhi Lemon from USC to help out.
Wow.
That is not what I think you were going to do.
You thought I was going to go with Sadiq? Listen,
yeah.
We got
with Likely leaving too.
We got Likely gone, and he's gone. Mark Andrews is the savior, and we don't need a pass-catching tight end. We need blockers who can also catch the ball. It's time to stop fucking around. Jesse Minter, let's get Lamar some weapons. So we're going with Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, USC, and this could be a spot where Jordan Tyson's available if the Chiefs don't take him, but the wide receiver runs already began. And Sadiq is falling, and he's a tight end, and I'm not taking a tight end in the top 14. So we're going with Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, USC for the Ravens. Kicking it back to the NFC South, Michael, a team I completely forgot about, but they didn't make the playoffs. It's Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 15. What do you think they look for in this spot?
I think this is also the lock of the century. It's Akeem Mesidor. Moving across the state of Florida.
State lines,
They have-
Mesidor.
They have 0 edge players on their team anymore, and yeah, I think it's he's probably 90% going to be there, and I think if he's there, they will 100% take him.
He'll definitely be there, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you like a guy, sometimes there's just those like locks. No matter.
It's
how
not a
everything
reach if it's
goes.
your guy.
Yeah. So all right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Shout out draft day. When are we watching draft day? Tomorrow night?
Thursday. So
You
I'm
watch it
going-
before?
I'm going to friend of the podcast, Greg Robin, who's plays for the draft. I get off work at 4:30, and he comes home at like 6. I'm just gonna turn it on and wait for him to come home.
Smart. Get in the right mindset.
Yeah, I have to think I haven't made it to the actual movie, but I've turned on like the first at least 10 minutes like the past 5 years.
You gotta get through it.
All right, Michael.
Back on the clock.
Back up again, back to back. And not only is it back to back, it's the New York Jets. So we have an inside angle here. What are the Jets doing? We have Sadiq falling. There's a tackle available if you want to go that route. Ty Simpson. Is it too early for Ty Simpson? We took Arvell Reese, so maybe we're not looking at some of the linebackers, but still plenty of great players here. What do you think the Jets do with their second pick at number 16?
Yep. You want to scroll down in that list a little bit, the player list?
Sure. I don't think this is accurate, by the way.
Well, just leave it. It's like a weird order, but it's players. Yeah, you can go back up. This
Okay.
is like a very tough Jets situation with all the receivers gone. I think they don't need a corner. A lot of Jets fans want them to take a corner here. They could have a guard picked here, so if Fano was there, could be
This
the
is
pick.
the sauce pick, right?
Yeah, this is the Cowboys. Or no, yeah, this is the Colts, and then Cowboys the next year. Yeah, this is definitely tough. Ioane could be a pick here. I really hope Sadiq is not an option for them. They have no shot of developing a move tight end like that.
The Jets tight ends are a very fast or far in between group of just
Yeah, they're not
no names.
great. I think if the board falls like this, they might go Jermon McCoy. Yeah, give me Jermon McCoy.
All right.
They signed a corner this offseason, 1-year deal. Brandon Stevens deals ends after this year. They only have Izzy Thomas signed through or after this year. So they do need to stock up on corners. And a lot of people had him as their number 1 corner going into this year. He was injured for a lot of the year, but allegedly healthy now. So yeah. Also, Aaron Glenn, former cornerback. Maybe they get their guy.
All right.
All right. Jermon McCoy to the Jets. Are you happy with this? Will you be Friday morning at work? You're sitting at your desk. Are you happy with what the Jets did tonight? Jermon McCoy and Arvell Reese.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
At all.
I mean, it definitely
I
could be
would've-
worse. So
Yeah, I mean, Omar Cooper is an option here. I feel like he's risen up a lot of draft boards. I'm not like the highest on him. If it was like 25, something like that, maybe. But I think there's going to be receivers around. They have 2 early picks in the second round, so they'll be 100% taking a receiver there. If this is how the board falls, then they'll be taking a receiver 33 or 44. But yeah, I don't hate it.
all right. A team that barely missed the playoffs was the Detroit Lions. And Cam, you've got control of them tonight. Where do you see the Detroit Lions going?
This is an interesting one. I could see them trying to pair Hutchinson up with somebody else on the other side, especially with Hutchinson's injury history, just in case he also goes down. But I could also definitely see them going offensive line, especially how only 2 have gone so far, which is kind of what I'm leaning. I'm just more debating whether they're going to go with a tackle or a guard. and I feel like it's a tough. I feel like 17 you can pick a guard if you're that confident in them, but also I don't know that much about guard play and tackle play, especially in college football. So I think they're going to go with the biggest son of a bitch out of Alabama, who probably would have been a first-round pick last year too, if he was eligible. But I'm going to go with Caden Proctor out of Alabama for the Lions.
All right, and there is I do know one thing about this draft. There is a short run on tackles, and then after that, it really dries up. So
Yeah.
might as well get one while you can. Caden Proctor going to the Detroit Lions at number 17. I like that pick. I think it's a solid pick. Division foes. The Minnesota Vikings are up. We were hoping that Thieneman would fall to us, but he got picked way above us. Jerry is a bastard. But luckily for us,
Fucking Jerry, dude.
an edge who is kind of fallen at this point, falls right into our lap. And, we maybe want to take defensive tackle if we're forced to it, but I think Keldrick Folk will be the pick for the Vikings. We need somebody off the edge, and he's probably the best player available at this point, and that fits our needs. So we're going with him to attack the edge from Auburn, Keldrick Folk to the Minnesota Vikings. And we go back to Mikey, a team we'd love to follow, the Carolina Panthers at 19.
They're going to fuck this up so bad. It's going to be so funny.
Michael with double picks again after this one, but if you need time, let us know. So where do you see the Panthers going? I don't know if the Panthers, maybe Sadiq's fallen to their lap. Is that where you're thinking they're going?
I wasn't.
His career be ruined.
I wasn't thinking Sadiq. I think Sadiq is one of those players who gets hyped up pre-draft, and it takes the perfect team to draft him.
Yep, I agree.
And I don't think that's the Panthers. I was leaning Omar Cooper, Monroe Freeling, that sort of route. Ioane, I don't think they need. They're more of a tackle destination. I don't think Freeling's actually the 13th ranked player in this draft. He's just up there because there was smoke about the Browns, I believe, loving him. I think this is Omar Cooper.
Wow.
They need a receiver to go along with Tet. Xavier Legette hasn't really panned out. So, yeah, give Bryce some weapons.
All right. Omar Cooper to the Panthers. Not a name I've heard in the first round, but I don't really know much about this draft, so I'll trust your word. Omar Cooper, playmaker to pair up with Jalen Coker, Tet, Bryce Young, and the boys in Carolina. And you're back up again with the Dallas Cowboys making selection number 2. They got Dylan Thieneman at pick number 12, and here they are again at number 20. Maybe some of the needs they were looking for in the first pick are available now. Do you have your pick ready for the Dallas Cowboys at number 20?
We're just going to talk it through. It could be a CJ Allen spot. I know the Cowboys do love their hard-hitting interior linebackers who get downhill and stop the run, which is what he's best at, not the best in coverage. Could be looking there. I feel like Sadiq could be like a sneaky pick here, just if Jerry's like, I know what I'm doing, guys. Come on. We already went DB. They could. I don't think they'll go back-to-back DB with Terrell. Does have the family bloodlines, but I don't think they'll go that way. I feel like we're leaning. It feels really early for CJ Allen, honestly. Can you scroll down a little bit on the player side?
Yep. So we got Caden McDonald, TJ Parker, Max Ianekor, Denzel Boston, Caleb Banks, Peter Woods.
I believe it's Yanicher.
I'm sorry. Can you keep scrolling?
No. I feel like actually give me Caden McDonald, big interior defensive lineman, stopping the run, nose tackle. You got to double team him every play. Yeah, let's do it.
I think he's one of the low-key better picks in this draft.
Yeah, he was on a lot of my team's boards.
Yeah, I feel like he's not getting a lot of mention about him, but I feel like he can be an impact player right away.
Cowboys need defense. They were a horrible defense last year, so
you pair him up with Kenny Clark
too. Them.
I know Kenny Clark's older, but at least you have somewhat of a combo in the front.
You got Quinnen and Kenny Clark and Caden McDonald. I mean,
Quinnen's
rotation there, like four on the defensive line. So there'll be a handful on the defensive line if this is how it goes.
All right, Cam, it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think
there's a certain quarterback who's available, maybe, and we don't know the future of Aaron Rodgers. And we know from your mock draft last year, you like to make a splash with the quarterback, so we'll be following suit this year and going.
Yeah, I kind of assumed this was going to happen. Didn't see, many of the teams in front of the Steelers taking Simpson. So obviously it was a consideration, but it's also a possibility. I'm not going to, project draft picks or whatever. Maybe he falls to them in the second round, or if it's, early in the second round or late in the first, they trade back up, kind of like the Giants did for Jackson Dart. It's definitely been on my mind to go Simpson, but it's also difficult to leave Sadiq on the board, even though I know they have Pat Freiermuth, and at the same time, the best guard on the board as well, too, from Penn State. Ioane, I think is how you pronounce it. But kind of three different directions you can go to. All are a need on this team. And just to make it fun, because it's a mock draft and we're not doing a fucking second round, I think the Steelers eventually do draft Ty Simpson. Maybe it's not this 21 spot, but fuck it. They're picking right now. We only have one round to do. Let's go Ty Simpson to the Steelers, being the new starting quarterback.
Get scrolling.
Well, number 42 prospect, Ty Simpson, to the Steelers. I mean, we've seen them do something similar with Kenny Pickett a couple of years ago, so I don't hate it. I do like your theory of maybe trading back into the first round more. But Ty Simpson's the second quarterback off the board. I like him as a prospect. I was kind of trying to get Mikey to get on the Ty Simpson train, and then he kind of just fell apart with the latter half. Does the amount of starts concern you? Only 15 starts, I believe, in college.
Well, that's also another thing, like potentially, is if the Jets potentially do like Ty Simpson and the Steelers don't take him, maybe they could obviously, potentially wait early in the second round or trade back in before the Steelers if they don't pick him at 21. So they could be a little interesting mind game, but I don't think he'll go there. I'm just doing it for the heck of the mock draft. But we'll do Ty Simpson at 21.
The Eagles are a team that loves to trade down too, so that could be a spot for somebody to come up and grab Ty if he doesn't get picked here. So it's possible.
Yeah.
All right. The Los Angeles Chargers, repping them tonight. We're going to do us proud. And, this pick was kind of made easy for me where we were looking at the defensive tackles. Caden McDonald would have been a great pick for us, but we're run by Jim Harbaugh, and there's a guy named Ioane for the Penn State.
Ioane.
I think this guy
learned how to Vega Ioane.
I think he's the guy. Is he the guy who learned how to play football like 2 years ago?
Probably.
I don't know. But Harbaugh would love this guy. They need offensive guard. They've got the tackles figured out, but Herbert's taking a beating. So in this spot, we trust Harbaugh to get it done on defense, maybe get a renaissance at a Khalil Mack or something in our defensive signings. Let's go with Ioane here from Penn State. Beast of a guy.
Pretty big guy, 6'4", 320 at guard.
You don't trust Mekhi Becton at guard in LA?
No, we don't. Anybody who the Jets drafted, we're getting
nah.
But Ioane, I think if he's here, which I don't know if he'll make it to the Chargers, but in this scenario, we love that pick. Harbaugh, I feel like especially Jim, usually takes it pretty simple in the first round, so we're not going to get crazy and do something that we're going to regret. We're going to go with Ioane here. Offensive guard, simple, and we can transition him, build him to how we want. And we get to the Eagles. Michael, maybe A.J. Brown potentially departing in a post-June 1 trade, which has never happened in the history of the NFL, announced a month and a half in advance. But it's up to you what storyline you want to believe. You're Howie Roseman. You got the fucking balls to do whatever you want. You're the best GM in the NFL. So do you go, fuck it, Sadiq's here, and Howie did it again of just staying pat and getting him? Or are we going to make an off-the-board pick and get somebody from Georgia or something?
They did lose one of their safeties this offseason. I've been picking a lot of D-backs, I feel like.
You have. I think you're the only one that has, unless Stubb has.
I don't think I've taken. I was waiting for Theodore.
Yeah, because you picked Delane, Downs, Tynan, or whatever the fuck.
Oh no, I picked Downs.
Oh, you picked Downs? Oh, okay.
I think I picked 4.
You picked
New Year's in this
McCoy. Yeah,
draft.
you picked 3 out of the 4.
I mean, yeah, let's go.
I mean, this is Avion
passing
Terrell
lead.
territory, I feel like. So, for what
Yeah, I
that's
feel like
worth.
they're. I don't know. I wouldn't say they're corner necessarily, but I could see them
Thing in the
taking a
Toledo
safety.
kid.
I feel like it's maybe slightly high. Maybe not. This is 23, so it's not like these guys in any normal draft would be like mid-second round picks. I don't know. You want to scroll down a little bit for me?
Do you not have a list in front of you?
No, I don't have a list in front of me.
We got
He's
Peter
fucking
Woods,
winging it, and I love it.
Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, Gregnon, Kristen Miller,
People do love Lomu, but I feel like it's too high for him.
Zion Young, Chris Bell, Jacob
Yeah.
Rodriguez.
It's too high for all these guys. I feel like this might be a spot where I'm between the two edges there. I don't know much about Parker. I know Howells was very high in this draft early in the year and didn't perform as well as people thought he would, but he's still a pretty decent prospect. And McNeil Warren. I don't. If Freeling actually has the grade that he has on this list, then he could be the pick here. But I think we're gonna go Cassius Howell here.
All right, I like that pick. Eagles get one again. I think Cassius Howell was like supposed to be a top 5 pick before the season, right? And then he kind of fell off. But all right, Cassius Howell, edge from Texas A&M. Cam, it's back to you with the Cleveland Browns. First round, we picked Carnell Tate, so we're back again. And who are we taking with number 24?
Yeah, so obviously you get the offensive weapon here in Tate at the 6th overall pick, falling back to the 24th spot. Still a lot of needs. And you haven't really seen the tackle run. I mean, granted, there have been 3, but 3 in the first round, I feel like it's kind of light. And they definitely need help on the outside. And they got a big fella out of Georgia, Monroe Freeling, 6'7". He's a little lighter on the weight, 315, but I feel like this is kind of the perfect spot for them to pick a tackle. I mean, potentially could trade back because there's not much available. I don't see them drafting a tight end if they still have Njoku, unless they want to do a double tight end set. But I just feel like that's not kind of the Browns' brand of football, especially seeing how they can't really block. So
And
I
they
think
have
they're
Fannin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
Harold
Fanning. You're
Fanning.
right. Yeah, I forgot about Fanning, who was one of the breakout, rookies, especially as a tight end. So can't see them going Sadiq, which is crazy that I think he's fallen this far, but also possibility. I think the Browns go tackle here, and they go with Monroe Freeling out of Georgia.
All right, the top remaining prospect on this board we're looking at least, and they get their tackle. They didn't take one at 6, but they get one at 24. So Browns fans probably feeling decent about this one. Monroe Freeling and Carnell Tate, first 2 picks. And we're back to you, Cam, with the Chicago Bears at number 25.
Yeah, this one's a little interesting. I feel like the defensive tackle spot has been kind of undervalued recently, and a lot of people, especially as a Patriots fan, seeing Milt Williams come in, alongside Barmore, like kind of controlling that defensive line without that explosive pass rush from the edge. I find it extremely interesting, and I feel like that's one of their bigger needs. And I forget his first name, but the guy to Clemson, Woods,
Peter Woods.
Peter Woods is really intriguing here. Also edge, you still have a couple of guys, but potentially, maybe like one of them for the Patriots, so I might not draft him right here. I feel like they're all set on the offensive side, honestly. Like they had a steady O-line last year. Their wide receiver core, maybe diminished a little bit with DJ Moore leaving to the Bills. But at the same time, I feel like Roma Dunze could, make a step up. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Peter Woods here at late in the first round, solidify that interior defensive line. I think we're going to do that. Woods out of Clemson at 25 for the Bears.
Don't hate that. He's definitely got a first round grade on him. All right.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the Buffalo Bills, but decent pick for the Bears there. Stand Pack at their defensive tackle. We have an Instagram comment from Matt Murphy. He says, this guy loves trading back. I don't know if someone's talking about trading back a lot. All right, Buffalo Bills. We're kind of trapped between two mindsets. Do we go with the wide receiver? We got DJ Moore in the offseason, and Josh can just make whatever he wants with whoever he wants. It's good. Or do we go with somebody who's maybe fallen into our lap, and that's kind of the direction I'm leaning? The defense has been good, but we need that really true alpha linebacker. I think we're going to go with CJ Allen from Georgia. We've tried with the wide receivers. We tried with Keon Coleman. It didn't work out. So maybe we'll grab one in the second round again. But we got DJ Moore. We've got Shakir. We've got a couple weapons. We're going to go with CJ Allen from Georgia, and we're the Bills. So we're just retooling. This guy will be a great player for us, and I believe. And I don't think the wide receivers – it may get panicky in this area where I feel like in the mid-20s is always a run of wide receivers, but we're not going to start that. We're going to go with CJ Allen from Georgia.
Good,
and Michael,
I like it.
You've got the San Francisco 49ers tonight, the control of that team. A lot of options here for them as well. Tackles, do we get a potential Kittle replacement? Safeties. At this point, I think this draft narrative, it's the fall of Kenyon Sadiq into potentially the second round.
Yeah.
We're running out of runway for him to be selected here. But
scroll down on the teams.
We got the Texans, Chiefs, Dolphins, Pats, and Seahawks to wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the 49ers wouldn't go Sadiq.
I think they definitely would not.
They did just re-sign Trent Williams to a 1-year deal, but they will eventually need a replacement for him because I'm pretty sure he's like 38. They do need receivers. Ayuk's obviously doing whatever he's doing. So Boston or Casey Concepcion could be an option here. You want to scroll down for me?
Yep. Colton Hood, corner.
Colton Hood's definitely an option.
Pregnon, guard.
Yep.
Christian Miller, Lomu, Lee Hunter, Zion Young is a first-round guy I've seen him somewhere. Sissy, Pons, Chris Bell, Jacob Rodriguez. I feel like that's the point I'm stopping.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we might be going offensive line here. Can we do... It's between Yonicher and scroll down. Who was that guard that you just skipped over? Pregnon? No, it wasn't. No, it was Lomu. Lomu was the guy I was looking at. Give me Lomu here.
All right. First round, end of the first round especially gets dicey, so it's kind of just take who you want before the second round starts.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4, 2 or probably 3 tackles left here that have some people have as a first round grade. He's definitely one of them. Since none of if they love Boston, that big receiver to replace Ayuk, they could go there. I don't know. They've been a perpetually injured offensive line, I feel like, for the last 4 years. So yeah, give me some offensive line help.
All right. Caleb Bloom joins the San Francisco 49ers. Cam, you've got 2 picks coming up back-to-back with the Texans and the Chiefs. I'd be shocked to see Sadiq there by the time I select, but is that what you're thinking for one of these 2 teams and starting with the Texans?
Yeah, it's possible. I don't think it's going to be the Texans. I think, especially in that divisional round matchup against the Pats, clearly we blew up their offensive line. Feel like they need help. And the name was mentioned by you. I'm surprised Mikey didn't go this way, but I like Pregnon a lot. I could see him easily, potentially being a Patriots draft pick at 31, but I think Texans need O-line help, and whether it be tackle or guard, I think Pregnon might be a sneaky first rounder, especially in the back half end of it. So I think I'm going to go with Pregnon out of Oregon for the Texans.
All right. Emmanuel Pregnon, maybe make or break year for CJ Stroud. Let's get him a guard to help out that situation. And we go to the Chiefs, who in the first round took a daring pick with Jordan Tyson at number 9. They're back up at 30 or 29. What do you see the Kansas City Chiefs doing here with their second pick in the first round?
Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned with the ninth pick that potentially, getting an offensive lineman late in this draft, but there was a late run, seeing how we kind of went more skill position players early on in the first half of the first round. And it just doesn't seem, maybe the guy at Arizona State, however you say it, Ahina Menador or Ahina
Yonicher.
Amateur, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Like, that's the only potential offensive lineman I could see them drafting at this spot. But honestly, if they see Sadiq at this point in the draft, especially with Kelsey kind of on the way out, which I mentioned earlier in the pod, why not get two game-changing receivers that could be there with Patrick Mahomes for the next 4-5 years and potentially even more?
This
So I
would be a
think,
Chiefs thing that happens. He just falls
yeah,
into their laps.
yeah. So I think Sadiq is going to go at 29 to the Chiefs.
All right, Kenyon Sadiq. I don't know where he's supposed to get drafted, but in our mock draft, he goes number 29 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Miami Dolphins are back up with pick number 2. So we had Ruben Bain fall into our laps in the first pick, which we're grateful for. We've really got like a plethora of options here where, we need everything. That includes Emmanuel McNeil-Warren as a potential pick. But if I'm here as the Dolphins, I think he might be there in the second round. Avion Terrell is fine as a corner. Maybe we're looking at that. We need attack, we need everything. But we got rid of somebody in the offseason for this pick. We traded away Jalen Waddle. So you're leaving me Denzel Boston here. I think we get Ruben Bain as a strong defensive presence, and we grab Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington, as that outside receiver. And we bring him into the fold. So 2 sides of the ball in the first round for the Miami Dolphins, and we feel pretty good about those picks. Leading us to the hometown team, New England Patriots, number 31, Cam, which will most certainly be a trade out, but we're going to stay up until 12:30 and pretend like it won't be. But go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, most likely I can see, but it's also different because,
How'd
Mike
this
Vrabel.
board fall? How'd this board fall for the boys?
Hey, you're part of the board too, so it's not our fault. But I don't know. It's definitely, a potential trade out situation, which you'd be expected to being a Patriots fan, especially in the past. But, Bill Belichick's been gone for 2 to 3 years. And I feel like they've somewhat changed their mentality in the draft, and I can see them picking here. And obviously, there's definitely need an edge, offensive line, and receiver. Casey Concepcion has definitely been one name definitely talked about on local sports media on a guy to draft. Offensive lineman, I just don't see any of these guys kind of fitting in with what they want to do, especially at the 31st overall pick. So I'm kind of leaning edge, especially with Chase on leaving. And even though he signed to a pretty small contract for us last year, he was one of our best edge rushers, if not the best. Also, another guy that's kind of been mocked to them has been Zion Young, who I really like. I don't know if they would reach for like a TJ Parker at this spot. So I think they're going to go at 31 to Zion Young, guy in Missouri. Pretty explosive, has some issues off the field. Definitely has, raised a little bit of concern, but
Criminal
I feel
file?
like, excuse me?
Criminal or?
No. I think he got like a misdemeanor for fighting in a game, or like it was post game, but like on their way to the tunnel. But he got like a misdemeanor for basically like beating the shit out of a guy in college. But he's also been kind of rumored to the Pats.
Screen dub, by the way.
Yeah, I might have just lost their whole draft.
Oh, good. I got it written down too, so it's fine. I can send to you. But I think the Pats are gonna go Zion Young here.
Brother.
Get a little bit defensive help. I just don't see anybody on the offensive side being worth being taken at 31. But yeah, let's go Zion Young out of Missouri for the Pats at 31.
All right. Well, we've lost the board. We had a good time with it. I decided to check out our guy in Zion Young.
Dub, we lost your mic too.
No, I can hear him.
Just me.
All right, Cam, leave and come back. Tell him to leave and come back.
Leave and come
Did you-
back.
Okay.
That's been going on StreamYard. All right, well, we've had a good draft tonight. Sorry for losing the board, but Cam's got it written down for us so we can read it all back. But we're back up as the Seattle Seahawks, and I don't need the board because I know exactly who we're taking in this scenario.
Max Yonicher.
Who?
Yonicher?
Y'all let Avon Terrell fall to the Seattle Seahawks? we'll take that and pair him up with Witherspoon. I don't care about the other guy you just said, Giannicher. I think if he's fallen this far, he must have a gas mask video out there. Okay, we don't want him. We're
Okay.
Seattle. We're definitely a land of rules and regulations in Washington State. We're going with Avon Terrell, corner, Clemson, one of the top picks, but y'all let him fall into the champ's lap. So 12th man, blah 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 bullshit. So we're going with Avon Terrell.
Why are you talking like that after it's only been a couple of months?
I have to fit the role. I have to be the Seattle Seahawks GM.
You have to
All right.
pretend to be okay.
Yeah.
There is a reaction video to the Super Bowl. Maybe people ask, "Where's the video?" There was a video that is out there. Michael watched it, but
Why was I not a part of it?
Because I was drunk at 1 a.m.
Yeah. So
Were
was
you
I.
out- Was this outside? No.
No, it was inside. It was dead. It was like snow terrania. Then.
Well, you could have been outside.
All right. Well, Kim, we lost the board, so could you kindly read us back all the picks of tonight?
Yes. I'll also mention, the person that drafted. So Dub, first overall pick for the Raiders, pretty clear cut Mendoza.
Terrible pick, by the
Mikey
way.
taking on his Jets. He went with Arvell Reese. I selected at third. I went with Bailey, seeing how that was,
for the Browns. No, who
for the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yep. So I feel like that's a pretty clear cut top three. Seems like at this point, Dub took over for the shitty Titans at number 4. Selected Love, the running back at Notre Dame. Mikey then at 5 for the Giants went with Sony Styles. Little, overall, could change their defense at the linebacker position.
I feel like
Then
I got
I was
some
up-
hate for that. Did I get
yeah.
hate for that in the chat?
The chat didn't love the pick. Well, Tony liked the pick, but I think the chat was kind of urging you to go that direction. But I don't know what they did want.
Number 6, I was up with the Cleveland Browns. I thought they'd make a dumb decision and go receiver this early. And they're going to go Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. Dub at number 7 with the Washington Redskins. Wanted a game changer to play in the middle of the field and in the back half. He selected Caleb Downs at number 7. Mikey then went.
I feel like that's Caleb's first spot that could take him. Like anyone before that, I feel like they're not going. But I feel like it's 7 to 10 for him.
Interesting.
Well,
Okay.
The way the board shook out, we were forced to do that.
Yeah. So then Mikey was up next, picking for New Orleans. He went corner out of the guy from LSU, Delane. Forget his first name off the top of my head.
Mansoor.
Delane at number 8. And then I was up number 9 for the Chiefs. I thought they'd go with a playmaker, and they went with Tyson out of Arizona State as a receiver.
This is where the draft fell apart, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was
No,
maybe-
I like that pick.
I could
Honestly, I love it.
I could
And
see
then-
it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Fair enough. Kind of left Mikey the door wide open for the Giants picking again at 10. And they selected the tackle out of Miami. Still not going to pronounce his name right. So if you guys
Francis
want,
Maui Noah.
yes.
Maui Noah.
So the number 1 tackle projected off the board, Mikey selected. And then Dub at 11 had the Dolphins. He brought Ruben Bain back in Hard Rock Stadium. Mikey was then up at number 12 with the Cowboys, selected the safety out of Oregon, Thieneman. Is that correct?
That was a bad spot. I feel like that's a trade back. I
Yeah,
feel like
that was
it's like 10 or 12 players are like in any order in the top 12, but then after that it's who
a
knows?
free for all. Yeah. And then surprisingly, I fell into Fano at the Rams spot at 13, which I feel like they needed help at tackle. And then Dub was up at 14 for the Ravens, and he selected Makai Lemon to pair with Zay Flowers in Lamar's offense. And then Mikey at number 15 went with Messidor, kind of going the same route as Dub, trying to bring Roman Bain, back into the state of Florida for his professional career. Then he had a back-to-back pick, selecting for the Jets, and he went with a corner, McCoy out of Tennessee. I think it's Jermod McCoy.
Jamon McCoy, yep.
Then I was up at 17 for the Lions. We went offensive line here, trying to protect Jared Goff. And I think Decker was their tackle who just left in the offseason. So Caden Proctor was the pick there at 17. Then after that, we had Dub at 18 for the Vikings. Went with Kendrick Falk out of Auburn. Little edge rush on that side, seeing how they had a lot of their defensive pressure go in the offseason. Mikey
Why
had
weren't the
back-to-back.
Vikings? Are the Vikings in the Ty Simpson maybe
No,
first
we got
round
Kyler.
pick?
Remember?
Yeah,
We
they got
at
Kyler.
9. We don't need him.
Okay.
But then Mikey was back up at 19 for the shitty Carolina Panthers and reached and got
Nah, this is a good pick.
Cooper Jr. at receiver
it. I love
to pair
this
up with
pick.
Ted.
Maybe you love this. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a
It's weird.
surprise. That was probably
Ask
my most
Cam.
surprising pick of the
Go
draft.
to work
honestly.
tomorrow and tell them. Tell everyone that you know. That they'll
Okay,
track you
I
later.
will.
We need
That's
what's
all.
that guy's name?
Areola.
Yeah, we need Areola.
Oh,
for
Areola
Amari
back on the
Cooper at
pod?
20. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let him know tomorrow. And then Mikey was back up again with the 20th pick for the Cowboys and went with a smart decision, went defensive tackle for McDonald out of Ohio State to pair up with Kenny Clark and then also Quinnen Williams to have a little 3-man rotation in the middle. And then 21, I was up with the Steelers, kind of did a reach with Simpson, but we only did a first-round mock. I would think that they probably would have drafted him later, but fuck it. It's the Dubcast. Why not? I think Simpson's going to the Steelers, so I drafted him there. Dub at 22 was with the Chargers, selected the best guard off the board from the guy from Penn State, which I apparently butchered his
Ioane?
name. Oh, yeah,
Ioane?
Awane, yeah. So that's what Dub was thinking at 22. Mikey, 23 with the Eagles, selected Howell, who I do not know. Is he a corner?
Edge.
Edge guy?
Cassius
Okay.
Howell.
A&M. Texas
A&M.
That was actually
Okay.
a very good pick.
Yeah, so Mikey selected him at 23. I was up back-to-back with the Browns and the Bears. First with the Browns, we had Tate at the 6th overall spot, so thought we might need a little bit of offensive line help and got Freeling out of Georgia at 24 for the Browns.
I
And
feel
then
like
at
Browns fans would absolutely love this draft. Like this is
They would be
their
happy.
like wet dream of a draft.
yeah, yeah, need a little bit of splash on the offensive side of the ball. And then we have the Bears at 25, who I was selecting again. And I went defensive tackle following Mikey's footsteps a few picks earlier, but I went with Peter Woods out of Clemson. I feel like he would have been a first-round pick last year if he didn't get hurt, or I think he might have just opted out of the draft. I knew he was a big name going into the season. You know, Clemson obviously had a shitty season following up on that in 2025/2026. And then Dub was up 26 with the Bills, and you selected Allen, the linebacker out of Georgia, correct?
CJ Allen, baby.
Yeah, I was in the bathroom for that. I think I caught a little bit of your recap, but CJ Allen to the Bills at 26, get a little linebacker help, seeing how they
Aaron
had.
with Milano. I like that a lot for the Bills.
Okay, and then Mikey followed up with the 49ers pick at 27, and you went with Lomu. I think he was a guard out of Iowa, or
Utah, I think.
CJ Lomu.
yeah.
CJ.
He's from.
believe it's-
Why is he not on here? Oh, this is a different list, dude.
Like
He got an
80%
offensive
sure
lineman
Utah.
for the 49ers trying
Utah
to regroup.
tackle.
Yeah.
Utah tackle. Okay. You know, potential backup for Trent. And then if they need to move him to the other side, they can. I was on back-to-back picks. At 28, I had the Texans. Definitely need offensive line help, seeing how they perform in the playoffs. I went with Pregnon out of Oregon, who I think could be a sneaky late first-round pick, especially at the guard position for a team that definitely needs offensive line help. And then 29, I was back up with the Chiefs. And Sadiq fell this late in the draft, which is, you know, relatively surprising, but also a Chiefs move to kind of scoop him up, get two skill positions at 9 and 29. And then Dub was up next again with the Dolphins, who had drafted Boston out of Washington, a little wide receiver to replace Jalen Waddle. And then I was back up at 31 with the Patriots, who were rumored to potentially go either edge, wide receiver at that 31 spot. I went with Zion Young out of Missouri at the edge position. And then finally, Dub recapped it with a surprisingly Terrell falling to the Seahawks at 32. So that's the recap of the draft that we just mocked. Hopefully it can be somewhat competitive. I don't know if we want to throw any money down on who might be correct on some of our picks, but that
No.
might
We're
be
gonna
an
get, like,
off-air
a-
conversation.
An average distance from actual,
Okay,
you know?
that's an interesting take. I don't mind that.
I was going to throw out the question: what's a good over/under number for us as a total podcast? Are we thinking
Like
like
of-
four?
Of hits.
Yeah,
like,
like direct
correct.
hits. Yeah.
Like, I'd say 8 to 10.
Really? I was thinking
That's
4.5. I was thinking 4.5.
I was thinking like 5 or 6, yeah.
Let's do
Really?
6.5 over under. What do you guys think? 6.5 correct picks for us
Okay.
as a unit. I would say
Well,
under, honestly.
you got to think about you got one locked.
Yeah, so it's basically 7.5.
Yeah.
Two
No.
locked.
Well, no, it's basically 5.5. If you do the 6.5, if we have one locked, it's basically 5.5.
I got the under, to be honest. I think.
I think
Really?
Matador and
Mesidor was high. I was surprised by the
that's a
Mesidor
lock.
at 15.
that's a lot.
The way the draft goes is like the 20s and like late teens, or you have to hit one randomly. Like you're not
Yeah.
going to get like multiple of those. So we need like the top 5 to 7 to go like exactly as we think it's going to go.
I think we did decently.
I think we did
On
good.
that.
Yeah, there's some questionable picks, but overall,
So I
Okay.
wrote down the top 50 prospects and just crossed them off as we went. And we drafted all of the top 20. And we had 22, 24, 26, 29, 30, 31, 35, 47.
who's 47? Ty.
Pregnon out of Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a year where I think I'm just limited in draft knowledge, so I'm glad we could make this work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks
One last
for
question before we wrap it up. Michael, there's a potential game, what will it be, 3 or 4 on Thursday night. What will be on TV1? The draft or the New York Knicks?
Oh yeah, this is tough. It's gonna be the basketball game, like 100%. Actually, what time does the draft start? Like
8.
8?
Yeah.
I think the game's at 7, so
You know
Might
the
be
Raiders are
half-
going to take up the whole clock, even though they
might
know
be
they're gonna do it
halftime
for
before the
4
Jets pick. So
true.
There you go. That would be a sweet spot.
there we go.
All right.
All right.
Well, actually, that's off pod topic. But thanks, gentlemen, tonight. This was clean. I think this is actually faster than the one me and you did, Cam, last year. I think I like this format better than the one we did. But
Yeah, it was definitely cleaner. Yeah.
by the time it was like 15, we just had completely different scenarios going. But we'll be back. When will we be back? August?
Yeah, I think we could do like
We could do an
what do we
offseason
do?
recap, maybe.
Because we do like an off-season recap / predictions for the whole year, right? Or
Yeah,
when do we?
that-
Is that the last week of preseason we do that?
That was like week 0 we did it last year. We
Yeah.
can chop it up, change it up.
Fair. Hey, you're the host. You tell us what you need us to do, and we'll show up.
Things are really busy on my desk on the Dubcast right now. Okay, we got a lot of things going on.
That's what I'm saying.
What
I'm
do
not
we
trying to.
got going
I'm just
on?
saying, whenever you're free, we'll be available.
We got Sith, Shadow Lord on Mondays. We got Daredevil Born Again season 2 on Tuesdays.
Hype.
Survivor 50 on Wednesdays. Cam, have you been watching?
I have. My boy's still in it. Do you want to
Good.
guess who my boy is?
Rizzo.
No, fuck that.
Ozzy.
Christian.
Christian.
Christian's
That would
my
not be- Okay. Well,
I'm
that's
in a
interesting.
little pool for whoever's going to win Survivor, and I think I'm one of the last ones standing. So
All right, there you go. Cam even getting on Survivor 50. So make sure you check out those episodes. And plus the movie reviews are happening. House of the Dragons coming back. NBA bullshit we got to go through. UFC.
Bullshit.
got a bunch of superhero shit coming out too.
Oh wait, did we lose Deb?
Of course, the host of the pod fucking loses connection. Well, I guess we'll let Dub close it out whenever, but always a pleasure, Mikey. Great to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see each
Wonderful
other
time.
soon when it comes to these pods, and hopefully I'll make a visit back to Rhode Island at some point. But always a pleasure.
We should lock in a contest for this draft. I feel
We
like
should.
average distance from actual pick. I feel like is because if I don't know, Ty Simpson goes like 58 overall, like you're cut.
That could fuck me. Yeah, true. That's a good point. I didn't think about that, but I'm still down to do it. Sure, there'll be an offline. Oh, there he is. The host is back.
What were you talking about?
That was
And
my
you're on
last
mute.
connection.
Yeah, nice.
All right, end it because it's going to be leaving.
Are you gonna sign off, Dubby?
Peace. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Okay, we're gonna work through this. StreamYard, maybe we switch off StreamYard. I don't know. It's been kind of suspect lately, but thanks for sticking through. We'll see how many picks we get right. Any last words, Michael? I was just wrapping us up.
No.
No
Okay.
words.
Go Celtics.
No.
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody. Hope your draft goes well. We'll be back in August. Football crew. See me and this guy whenever the first NBA round ends. So thanks, everyone, for sticking through. We'll see you.